I drained my 401k to fund my fiancée's dream boutique. On opening day, she introduced her co-founder as her new boyfriend. I smiled, pulled out the legal papers dissolving the business partnership, and walked out while she was still processing what just happened. Original post: I, 38 male, met my fiancée, 35, 3 years ago at a networking event. She was working retail management, dreaming about opening her own boutique someday. Smart, driven, passionate about fashion. I fell hard. I work in IT security, make decent money, around 120k annually. Not rich, but comfortable. Had been building my 401k since I was 23. By the time we got engaged last year, I had about $185,000 saved up. Her dream was this boutique, women's clothing, curated pieces, the whole aesthetic Instagram thing. She had the vision, the connections with suppliers, the business plan, just needed capital. Banks turned her down. Her credit score was mid-600s. Not terrible, but not loan-worthy for a startup. She was devastated. I loved her, wanted to support her dreams, so I made what seemed like a generous decision. I'd fund the boutique. Early withdrawal penalty on the 401k hit me with about $55,000 in taxes and penalties, but I walked away with $130,000 to invest in her business. Here's where I wasn't completely stupid. My attorney brother helped me structure it properly. We created an LLC. I owned 70% as the primary investor and managing member. She owned 30% as the operating partner. Everything was documented. Signed agreements, the whole deal. She cried when I showed her the paperwork, said I was making her dreams come true. Best day of her life. We celebrated by looking at commercial properties. Found a perfect spot, 1,800 square feet in a trendy shopping district. Rent was $4,500 monthly. I signed the lease as the LLC managing member. Over the next 8 months, I watched my retirement fund become racks of designer clothes, fancy lighting fixtures, a point-of-sale system, marketing materials. She handled the creative side. I handled the finances and legal stuff. The grand opening was scheduled for a Saturday. She'd been working crazy hours the week before, staying late at the store, coming home exhausted. I understood. It was her baby. I took the day off work, wore a nice suit, showed up early to help with final prep. That's when I met him. This guy, probably 29, gym bro type, wearing designer everything, was arranging merchandise like he owned the place. My fiancé introduced us. Babe, this is my co-founder. He's been helping me with the creative direction and vendor relationships. Isn't he amazing? Co-founder. That was news to me. The guy shook my hand. Yeah, man, we've been putting in serious work together. This place is gonna blow up. My fiancé was beaming. We make such a good team. Something felt wrong, very wrong. I smiled. Co-founder? That's interesting. I don't remember approving any additional partners. She waved it off. Oh, it's just a title. He's been so helpful. The grand opening started. About 60 people showed up. Her friends, some local influencers, potential customers. Champagne, little appetizers, the works. I stood in the back, watching them work the room together. The way she touched his arm, how they finished each other's sentences. The inside jokes. Then I saw it. When she thought no one was looking, he kissed her. Not a friendly peck, a real kiss, and she kissed him back. I pulled out my phone, texted my brother, need those dissolution papers, now. He'd prepared them weeks ago. I'd asked him to draft them, just in case, after my fiancé started being weird about discussing business decisions with me. He thought I was paranoid. Turns out, gut instincts matter. 20 minutes later, my brother showed up with the documents. Dissolution of LLC, effective immediately. My right as the 70% owner and managing member. I walked up to them during her speech. She was thanking everyone, talking about her vision, her journey. He was standing next to her, grinning like he'd accomplished something. I waited until she finished. Then I spoke up. Can I say something? She looked surprised but nodded. Of course, babe. I just want to clarify something for everyone here. This business was funded entirely by my retirement savings. The LLC documents show I own 70% as managing member. She owns 30%. The room went quiet. I'm not her babe anymore. Watched you kiss your co-founder about 15 minutes ago. Her face went white. His face went red. And as managing member, I'm exercising my right to dissolve this partnership effective immediately. I handed her the papers. You'll receive your 30% share of remaining assets after debts are settled. The lease is in the LLC's name. I'll be terminating it. You have 30 days to remove your personal items. She started sputtering. You can't. This is my dream. It was your dream. Funded by my money, which you've been spending while sleeping with him. We're done. I turned to the crowd. Sorry folks, boutique's canceled. There's champagne though, so enjoy. Then I walked out. My phone started blowing up immediately. Ignored it. Drove to my brother's office. We spent the next 3 hours going through every legal document, every receipt, every transaction, building the case. That night she came home. I'd already packed her stuff. Changed the locks on my condo, which I owned before we met. Her name was never on it. She pounded on the door, screamed about how I was ruining her life, how I couldn't just take her business away. I talked through the door, checked the LLC agreement. I can dissolve it with majority vote. I have 70%, you have 30%. Math isn't hard. This is illegal. I'll sue you. Feel free. My attorney is excellent, and he's been documenting everything since we started this business, including the $130,000 I invested and the $0 you contributed. She left. Didn't hear from her for 2 days. Then the legal letters started coming. Update 1, 2 weeks later. So after she finally left my doorstep that night, I thought maybe she'd accept reality. Maybe get a lawyer, try to negotiate her 30% share in a reasonable way. Nope. Day 3 after the boutique disaster, I got an email from an attorney. Not a good attorney. Some strip mall guy whose website promised aggressive representation and had stock photos. The letter demanded 1. Full ownership of the boutique transferred to my fiancée. 2. $200,000 in damages for emotional distress and reputational harm. 3. An additional $50,000 for lost income potential. 4. A public apology. My brother laughed when he read it. This guy passed the bar exam? We sent a response. Basically, no. Also, here's documentation of the affair, the business structure, and the fact that I'm entitled to dissolve the LLC per our signed agreement. Her attorney went quiet for a week, then came back with a revised demand. She wanted $75,000 to walk away quietly. That's when things got interesting. My brother started digging into the boutique finances. I'd been tracking expenses, but he did a deep dive. Found some fun stuff. She'd been paying her co-founder boyfriend $3,000 monthly as a consultant for the last 4 months. Total, $12,000 of my money going to the guy she was cheating with. She'd purchased $8,000 worth of merchandise from a vendor owned by her boyfriend's family. The clothes were decent quality, but she could have gotten the same stuff for $5,000 from other suppliers. She'd upgraded the store fixtures at the last minute, swapped the modest shelving I'd approved for designer pieces. Cost difference, $6,000. Guess who suggested the expensive vendor? Her boyfriend. Total amount effectively stolen through her boyfriend, $26,000. I documented everything. Sent it to her attorney with a new message. Your client has been systematically defrauding the business. We're considering criminal charges for embezzlement. Perhaps she should reconsider her demands. Her attorney dropped her within 24 hours. But she wasn't done. Not even close. The landlord situation. Remember that $4,500 monthly lease? It was a 1-year commitment. I'd paid 3 months up front, $13,500. Per the lease terms, I had the right to terminate early with 60 days notice and forfeiture of 1 month's rent. I gave notice, forfeited the $4,500. Done. My ex-fiancée tried to convince the landlord to let her take over the lease. The landlord called me, since I was the signing party, to ask about it. If she can qualify on her own, that's between you and her. The LLC won't be responsible. She didn't qualify. No credit, no business history, no proof of income. Landlord said no. She showed up at my office. Security called me. She's demanding to see you, sir. Says it's urgent. Tell her I only communicate through attorneys now. If she doesn't leave, call the police. She left. She left before screaming in the lobby about how I was stealing her business and ruining her life. My coworkers heard everything. Embarrassing for her, not me. The merchandise. Here's where it got messy. The boutique had about $65,000 worth of inventory. Designer clothes, shoes, accessories, all purchased with my money. Per the LLC agreement, assets would be liquidated and distributed according to ownership percentage. 70% me, 30% her. I hired a liquidation company. They estimated they could move everything for about $45,000. Retail markup is brutal, resale is worse. My share, $31,500. Her share, $13,500. She lost her mind. Started calling me directly. I'd blocked her number, so she used a friend's phone. You're selling my merchandise? That's theft. It's LLC merchandise, being liquidated according to our agreement. You'll get your 30%. Those were my choices, my vision. You can't sell them. Already happening. Liquidation starts Monday. She tried to break into the boutique that weekend. The landlord's security cameras caught her trying to jimmy the back door. Police were called. She was cited for attempted breaking and entering. She blamed me for calling the cops on her. I didn't call anyone. The landlord's security company did their job. The boyfriend factor. This guy apparently decided he was some kind of business genius. He started contacting my ex-fiancée's vendors, telling them he was taking over operations and they should work with him directly. 3 vendors called me confused. I explained the situation. LLC dissolved, no new business entity exists, any dealings with him are at their own risk. He tried to poach the boutique's social media following, created a new account, messaged all her followers saying the store was under new management and would reopen soon. My brother sent him a cease and desist. The account disappeared within hours. The financial fallout. Did the math on total losses. Initial investment, $130,000. Paid expenses, $35,000, rent, utilities, insurance, etc. Total spent, $165,000. Liquidation estimate, 40-70%, $31,500. Net loss, $133,500. Yeah, my entire retirement fund. Gone. Thanks to trusting someone who was sleeping with another guy while I funded her dream. But here's the thing. I'd have lost it all anyway if I'd let her keep running it. She was incompetent, dishonest, and delusional. At least this way I salvaged something and kept her from destroying me further. The psychological warfare. She started telling people I was financially abusive for cutting off her access to my money. Her friends were calling and texting asking why I was being so cruel. I sent 3 of them the LLC documents, the evidence of her affair, and the record of her boyfriend receiving $12,000 in consulting fees. They stopped calling. Her mother showed up at my condo, knocked on the door at 10 p.m. You need to give her another chance. She made a mistake. She made calculated decisions to defraud the business while cheating on me. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. She's my daughter. She's struggling. She's a 35-year-old adult who destroyed her own opportunities. Not my problem. You're heartless. Where is she supposed to work now? Wherever anyone else works. She has a degree and retail management experience. She'll figure it out. Her mom called me some choice names. I closed the door. My boundaries. I've blocked her on everything. Changed my phone number. Moved to a different gym. Removed mutual friends who chose her side from social media. My brother suggested I document everything in case she tries something legally insane. So I've got a folder, digital and physical, with every text, email, photo, receipt, and legal document. My therapist says I'm handling this remarkably well. Boundaries are healthy, she keeps saying. But honestly, I'm not handling it well. I'm angry. Really angry. I lost $133,500 and 3 years of my life to someone who saw me as a checkbook. The liquidation company starts selling inventory this week. After that, the LLC officially closes. Then I can start rebuilding. Going to take me a decade to recover financially, but at least I'm free of her. Update 2, 6 weeks later. The legal warfare has been absolutely wild, and the entitlement just keeps escalating. Remember how I thought it was over after the liquidation started? Yeah, no. The liquidation drama. The liquidation company sold about $38,000 worth of merchandise, lower than estimated because my ex had purchased some trendy pieces that were already going out of style. Fast fashion moves quick. Per our agreement, my 70%, $26,600, her 30%, $11,400. I received my share. Sent her attorney, she got a new one, a check for $11,400. She claimed I owed her $50,000 because her personal time and effort should count as sweat equity. Her attorney actually argued this. My brother responded, sweat equity would have been negotiated before LLC formation. She signed the agreement accepting 30% ownership. No additional compensation is owed. They pushed back. threatened to sue for unjust enrichment. We countered with the embezzlement evidence, the $26,000 funneled to her boyfriend through fraudulent business expenses. If you'd like to pursue litigation, we'll counterclaim for theft and fraud. They went quiet again. The vendor fallout. Here's where it got interesting. Her boyfriend apparently convinced her they could restart the boutique independently. They contacted all her original vendors, claiming they were opening a new store. 3 vendors extended them credit, about $35,000 total in merchandise. They set up shop in a smaller space with month-to-month rent. Lasted 5 weeks. Turns out, neither of them knew how to actually run a business. They had no business plan, no marketing strategy, no financial runway. They just thought 2 clothes plus Instagram equals profit. Reality check. No, it doesn't. They defaulted on the vendor payments within 30 days. All 3 vendors filed collections against them. One vendor sued. She called me from yet another friend's phone. "This is your fault. You ruined my reputation with vendors. I dissolved a failing business that you were defrauding. Your current business failures are your own. If you'd just given me the boutique, none of this would have happened. If I'd given you the boutique, you'd still be stealing from it, with your boyfriend. Just faster." She hung up. Her boyfriend tried calling from his phone. Blocked. The wedding deposits? Oh yeah, we had a wedding planned. Date was set for 8 months from now. We'd put down deposits. Venue, $5,000 in my name, my card. Catering, $3,000. Photography, $2,000, my card. DJ, $800, my card. Total, $10,800. I'd paid everything because she was saving her money for the business, right? I canceled everything. Most vendors had cancellation policies. Venue, forfeited $2,500, 50% of deposit. Catering, forfeited $1,500, 50% of deposit. Forfeited $1,000, 50% of deposit. DJ, got full refund, he was cool about it. Recovered, $15,800, lost, $5,000. Her response? She claimed I should have let her keep the wedding date and vendors so she could marry her boyfriend. I'm not joking. She actually said this. "My brother, she wants you to fund her wedding to the guy she cheated with?" Apparently. He couldn't stop laughing. The smear campaign part 2. When the vendor lawsuits hit, she needed someone to blame. Started telling people I'd sabotaged her new business by poisoning her vendor relationships. Several people called asking about this. I told them the truth. I dissolved our LLC legally. Her new business failed because they didn't pay their bills. That's not sabotage, that's consequences. One of her friends, a woman I actually liked, asked to meet for coffee. I agreed. She brought receipts, actual text message screenshots of my ex talking about me. He's so stupid with money, easy to manipulate. Once the business takes off, I'm dumping him anyway. The prenup idea freaked me out. Thank God he's too in love to actually require one. This was from 8 months ago, before she started the affair. She'd been planning to use me from the start. Her friend, I kept these because I knew she was wrong. I tried to warn her she was playing with fire. She wouldn't listen. Why show me now? Because she's telling everyone you're the villain. But I was there. I know what she did. I thanked her. Added the screenshots to my documentation file. The real consequences. Hit. Her new business folded completely last week. The boyfriend bailed when he realized there was no money to be made. Just disappeared. Blocked her on everything and vanished. She's now facing 1. 3 vendor lawsuits totaling $35,000. 2. Collections agencies. 3. No job. She quit her retail management position to do the boutique. 4. Ruined credit. She's about to have judgments against her. 6. Living with her mother. She tried one more time to contact me. Left a voicemail. Forgot I'd changed numbers. Called my old office line. I know you're angry, but I need help. I'm drowning here. Please, for what we had. What we had was 3 years of lies. I didn't call back. The revenge I actually took. Look, I'm not going to pretend I'm some perfectly mature person who took the high road. I did one petty thing. Just one. Remember those social media accounts for the boutique? I had the login credentials because I'd set them up and paid for the business accounts. Before completely dissolving the LLC, I made one final post to the boutique's 3,200 followers. After careful consideration, this business is permanently closed. To our followers, Be wary of anyone claiming to reopen under similar branding. The original owner was found to have misappropriated business funds. Thank you to those who supported our brief opening. Management. Then I deleted the accounts entirely. Her new business accounts had maybe 200 followers. She'd been counting on redirecting my boutique's following. That post nuked any credibility she had left in the local fashion community. Petty? Yes. Satisfying? Absolutely. Illegal? Nope. I had every right as the LLC managing member to make business communications. Where I am now, I'm 38 years old, back to square one financially. My 401k is gone. I'm rebuilding from scratch. But I've learned something valuable. Due diligence matters. Red flags matter. Contracts matter. Protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's smart. My company offered to increase my 401k match for the next 5 years to help me catch up. I'm maxing it out. I'm dating again, casually, not ready for anything serious. Probably won't be for a while. My therapist says I have trust issues now. Yeah, no kidding. But you know what? I sleep fine. My conscience is clear. I gave someone an opportunity, she betrayed it, and she's facing the natural consequences of her choices. Final update. 4 months later, time to close this chapter. The legal resolution. My ex's vendor lawsuits went to court. She didn't show up to 2 of the 3 hearings. Default judgments against her. Vendor 1, $14,500. Vendor 2, $12,000. Vendor 3, $8,500. Total, $35,000. Her credit is destroyed. The judgments will follow her for years. Wage garnishments start when she finally gets a job. Her attorney tried one last thing, filed a motion claiming the original LLC dissolution was procedurally improper and should be reversed. My brother responded with 60 pages of documentation showing every step was legal, proper, and by the book. The motion was denied in about 15 minutes. That was the end of the legal stuff. The boyfriend situation. Turns out her boyfriend was running the same scam on multiple women. 2 other women came forward after the vendor lawsuits made local business news, small business community gossips. He'd been helping 3 different women start businesses, positioning himself as a consultant, receiving payment, having affairs with all of them. Professional con artist. One of the other women is pressing charges for fraud. He's currently under investigation. My ex is furious she got caught up in his schemes. Zero accountability for her own choices. The financial reality check. Did my final accounting. Total amount invested, $165,000. Total recovered, $37,400. Net loss, $127,600. That's $127,600 from my retirement, gone forever. At age 38. My financial advisor ran the numbers. If I'd left that money in my 401k, it would have grown to approximately $720,000 by age 65, assuming 7% average annual return. So the real cost? About $720,000 in future retirement savings. That's the price of trusting the wrong person. But here's what I keep telling myself. If I'd married her, she'd have taken far more in the divorce, and I'd have wasted more years before figuring out who she really was. The aftermath for her. Last I heard through mutual acquaintances, she's working at a department store again. Back in retail, making maybe $38,000 annually, living with her mother. No money for her own place. The boyfriend's fraud investigation implicated her too. She wasn't charged, but her name is attached to it. Reputation in the local business community is shot. She's trying to present herself as a victim of both me and the boyfriend. Some people believe her. Most don't. She'll spend years paying off those vendor judgments. 25% wage garnishment until it's clear. Her dating profile, yes, someone showed me, lists her as an entrepreneur and business owner. The delusion continues. What I actually learned. I spent a lot of time in therapy working through this. Some realizations. I was a walking ATM to her from day one. She saw a stable guy with money and decided to extract maximum value. The dream boutique was never about business success. It was about status, Instagram clout, playing entrepreneur. She would have destroyed me financially if I'd let her. The boyfriend scam was just the beginning. My boundaries and legal protections saved me from total ruin. Trust but verify, and get everything in writing. Where I am now, I'm okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. My 401k has $8,200 in it after 4 months of aggressive saving. It'll take years to rebuild, but I'm doing it. I bought a used but reliable car to replace my old one. paid cash. No debt. I'm working on a side consulting gig to accelerate savings. Extra $1,500 monthly. Dating is weird. I'm honest with people now. I got burned badly. I'm rebuilding. I'm cautious. Some women appreciate the honesty. Others don't. My social circle is smaller but better. Cut out anyone who excused her behavior or made me feel bad for protecting myself. My brother and I are closer than ever. He never once said, "I told you so," even though he kind of told me so. The perspective. Sometimes people ask if I regret funding the boutique. Honest answer, yes and no. Yes, I regret losing $127,600. No, I don't regret learning who she really was before marrying her. If we'd gotten married first, she'd have gotten the wedding, maybe pushed for joint accounts, maybe gotten pregnant to lock me in. The damage would have been catastrophic. Instead, I found out when the financial hit was only $127,600 in 3 years. Only. Wild how perspective changes. The real cost, money comes back, time doesn't. I'm 38, single, starting over, but I'm starting over with knowledge, with boundaries, with healthy skepticism. I'm not bitter, I'm just careful now. Maybe too careful. Still working on finding the balance. The message to anyone reading this in a similar situation, trust your gut. If someone's constantly pushing you to invest in their dreams without contributing themselves, that's a red flag. If someone resists legal documentation of financial partnerships, that's a red flag. If someone's lifestyle suddenly improves while yours stagnates, that's a red flag. Get lawyers, get contracts, protect yourself. Love is real, but so is manipulation. And sometimes it's hard to tell the difference until it's too late. I'm rebuilding. One paycheck at a time. One decision at a time. One boundary at a time. The boutique is gone, the relationship is gone, the money is gone. But I'm still here, and I'm smarter than I was. That has to count for something. Thanks for following this mess. Time to close the book on it and focus on the future. Whatever that looks like, it won't include funding someone else's dreams at the expense of my own. Lesson learned. Expensive as hell, but learned.